Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another segment of the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank. We'll get right back to today's guest or this week's guest on the Think Tank. But as always, we're going to give a shout out to every single one of our sponsors. Now, these are all great companies. I used them as an athletic director. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes. Don't fast forward. Listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Think Tank, then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We first want to thank K12 Sports Tech for sponsoring the Think Tank segments. K12 Sports Tech is a platform that connects athletic directors and sport vendors for educational and hands on consulting purposes. Athletic directors are also invited to join the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and help influence how these sport companies shape their tech to better serve schools. To get started, just go to K12sportstech.com. That's it, K12sportstech.com. We also want to thank our friends at Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and let their team help you become a world class social media expert. The team at Gipper is going to have you up and running in no time, whether it's a easy social media post to celebrate a victory or an entire newsletter to showcase all the great things that your department's doing. Go to Gipper.com to find out more. Don't forget to mention the podcast, but it's Gipper.com. We also want to thank our friends at Snap Mobile. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are over. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with tremendous success. Coaches loved it, parents loved it. I'm telling you, it works. Go to snapraise.com. Check out all their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. It's snapraise.com. We also want to say thank you to Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day. Scheduling, rosters, results. For me, the athletic clearance and eligibility platform alone is incredible. You really need to check it out. Go to homecampus.com for more information. As always, don't forget to mention the podcast, homecampus.com. We also want to say thank you to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com to get started. We want to say thanks to Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program, and it was a great experience, and it'll be the same for you. You also get 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University's online masters in athletic administration. We also want to thank Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. As an AD, I made sure that we were a Huddle school. And our coaches, all of our coaches, just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes loved the videos, and our parents loved the streaming, but there's so much more. Join the 8 million users. Find out all the things that Huddle can do for you and why you should become a Huddle school. We want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame for their support. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touchscreen video consoles. You put one of their units in your gym lobby, in your main school hallway, it's going to be a magnet for kids, for coaches, teachers. How about parents, sponsors, alum? You got to see these to believe them. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Check out all their great products today. And as always, don't forget to mention the podcast. We want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys. You know, at my school, we use surveys for everything, kids, coaches, parents, and the information that would come back was almost always over the top positive, but it also allowed us to hear from those squeaky wheel parents, address those concerns, and keep them from turning into something big. But having all that positive data is huge, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent, maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com don't forget to mention the podcast, athleticsurveys.com. And we want to say thank you to Hometown. Hometown is changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions that includes things like, oh, yeah, they still have online ticketing, but there's a lot more. How about fee-free fundraising, athletic website construction? The list just goes on and on. Whether you're an athletic director, a head coach, or a school administrator, Hometown makes it easy for you and your school to save time, raise more money, and bring your entire community together. To find out more, just go to hometown.com and don't forget to mention the podcast. That's hometown.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of the K12 SportsTech AD Think Tank on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to Indiana today, and our think tank guest is Chip Dale. Chip, let's go and welcome you to the think tank. How's it going in Indiana?
Doing well. We've been getting hit with storms pretty hard the last couple of days, so we're wet.
Again, spring season for an AD. I think our listeners can relate. Of course, we're always joined by someone from K12 Sports Tech. Today, it's the COO, Alec Brown. Alec, welcome back.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me. Always good to be here.
If you're new to this segment, I came across the K12 Sports or K12 Sports Tech a couple of years ago. We actually had their CEO on, Abby Emerson. Had a great athletic story. She was telling me about K12 Sports Tech, and I'm going, wow, this is incredible. Where was this when I was an athletic director? And because of our partnership with them, we're very proud to feature them and athletic directors who are part of the think tank every week here on the podcast. Alec, let's go and start with you. Give our listeners a little bit of your athletic background and kind of how you came to the K12 project, and we'll go from there.
Excellent. Thanks, Jake. Yeah, so my background's in education. Started off as an English teacher in Chicago. Didn't really have plans to get into athletics, although it was a big part of my life growing up. But the school I was at didn't offer sports, and one thing led to another. I just couldn't handle that, so I walked into my principal's office one day and asked if I could start a sports program, and she said yes, and then that just kind of led me down this path of working in education-based athletics for a career. So that was a really good experience. I went on after that and ran an organization called Beyond Sports Foundation for about 5 years, which worked with high school and college athletes on preparing for life after sports. So we did a lot of academic training and internship placement and workforce development and things like that in that role. And then that segued nicely into what we're doing at K12. So I met Abby, our founder, through a mutual friend who was also an AD, and just really hit it off. I mean, what K12 is a consulting and resource hub for sports tech vendors to connect with athletic administrators. We want to bridge the gap between what's going on in the world of sports tech and what the real world needs are for ADs and all different types of programs. So it's a mission that I really believed in. I kind of lived it when I was an AD, and something that I thought the industry needed more of. So we started that a couple years ago, and then shortly after we started to build the think tank, which I'm proud to say is up over 500 members now, and it's current and former athletic administrators from all over the country that we bring on to consulting projects to kind of help vendors identify if their solutions solve a problem for ADs in the different types of programs that they're in. It's been really successful so far, and we're happy to have Chip as a part of it, and the rest of the group. They're really a tremendous group of forward-thinking ADs.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to put that phrase in there. Forward-thinking athletic directors and forward-thinking vendors too. And again, it just struck me when I first heard about it. It was just so unique. Athletic directors, they're constantly, reaching out to vendors. Vendors are doing the same thing. That from our perspective, from Chip and my perspective, that dreaded cold call or email. But the think tank and K12, it was this collaborative bridge. The AD sharing with vendors, hey, this is what I need. This is how you can make your product better. And those vendors, in turn, are sometimes initiating that call. How can we make our product better for you? Just such a cool idea. I was sold immediately. Chip, again, you're part of the think tank. Share with our listeners, your school, a little bit about your background, and share how you first got involved, how you heard about the K12 Sports Tech AD think tank.
Yeah, so I'm an alumni of the school I'm at, kind of one of those that went back home and took the reins. So I grew up here. My undergrad is not in education. I started in computer graphics and in marketing. I was working in minor league baseball for a while as a marketer. And then just through life, the wife looks at you and says, "This lifestyle is not the way we're going to live forever. So let's figure something out." And we decided to move back home. I'd done some talks and had the principal here decide, "Hey, why don't you try teaching the stuff that you do?" And we started a computer graphics program and did things like that in house. Roundabout way, ended up a couple different schools doing different things, trying to round myself off. Got into administration with the goal of being an AD, and then eventually the opportunity came back to come back home. And so I've been back here now 4 years. This is my seventh year in administration. Um, so that's kind of my trip here. It's been a passion project. Obviously, my kids are coming through the school, all those types of things where you're trying to give back to what gave to me. Um, and as far as the AD think tank goes, it's kind of a funny story. And I think probably a lot of us have had the same situation. You get an email from somebody and you're like, "Is this real? What is this?" But I got one from our association president, from Rob Seymour, and he'd sent me one and said, "Hey, I think you might enjoy this." Him and I had got to know each other, and you find those people who are always looking to try different things, um, and connect them. And he's like, "I think this would be something you'd enjoy and you would get something out of." I said, "Okay, well, is this real?" He says, "Yes, it is." I said, "Okay, now what's the idea?" He said, "Well, the idea is that we have this network that we can connect with ourselves, or two, you'll get, notices about different things that you might be interested in. Whatever you're interested in, you dive into and dig deeper." And so that's kind of the approach I looked at was, all right, this is going to connect me with, at the time, Alec would probably have a better idea. There was a couple hundred of us at that time. That, okay, this is going to connect me with some people from another state or from another area that I wouldn't normally connect with. It's going to connect me with vendors that I normally wouldn't have seen, and give me the chance to then not only provide feedback, but also be able to kind of dig in at the grassroots of, is this something that can help me, tech wise? So, okay, this project they're working on, I can give them feedback as to what I think would help. And it might be something that, all right, now I can get in at the beginning stage and really ingrain that into our programs to be able to give us that next thing we're looking for.
Boy, what a great description. And I'm glad you covered kind of both ends of it. One of the things that really appealed to me was the networking component where you do get in touch with other athletic directors. We always talk about the importance of building your network. And so, again, this is where I think K12 it just had a unique take on it. But then, like you said, the projects with the different vendors. Okay. As you have perused those project possibilities, what's one that maybe really jumped out at you that you found rewarding?
There's been a couple vendors I've met with recently that I think really have some unique ideas, some things that they're areas that I know we struggle with that we need to work on. For example, I met with what was the name of it? Alec, you'll have to help me. It was I've got my notes here. The guy
Helmet
that's
tracker, Chip?
Yes, Helmet Tracker. I met with Helmet Tracker. That was a great meeting. We talked for probably over an hour about different things, where he was looking for really good feedback. And it's one, the more I listened to what he was saying, I'm like, I think given some different ideas that we had talked about, that it could really solve some issues that we dealt with. Digital scoreboards is another one I've met with, and talked to a couple different times. Again, the idea that they're going to give me the exact same thing the big guys are, but potentially, you know, talking to them about how their service works and what they're going more of a virtual style, like that solves a lot of problems that we see when you're looking to write a big check. Um, so those were two, and the two recent ones that I've had that I thought were really good. Um, as far as knowing problems that I'm dealing with that they could potentially help solve.
Yeah. No, and again, another great point about it's actually you are talking to not a salesperson per se, but you're talking to the company about how they can tweak their product, develop their product to better serve athletic directors like you. Alec, I know the athletic directors. They really have, they love the think tank concept from the networking. What's some of the feedback you've gotten from the vendors about the ability to connect directly to ADs?
Yeah, the feedback's been really strong. I think the more vendors meet with different ADs in the think tank, especially ADs representing different types of schools and different types of programs, they start to realize that they didn't know nearly as much about the space as they thought they did, and um, the individuality of different schools and their needs, and so they start to learn what it's going to take to make their products truly customer centric to a wide variety of programs. And the coolest thing about this whole experience over the last year since we've been doing it is vendors are really making improvements to their products based on what our ADs have said. I mentioned this on another podcast, but I'll say it again. We've had a vendor that's actually changed the name of their product. We've had many look at their pricing and change their pricing or offer more packages so they become more accessible to different types of schools. So it's really been amazing to see that the vendors that we've worked with are really like living up to the mission of the company and really using the feedback to improve their situations, improve their products and solutions for the better, to therefore go on and improve a whole lot more athletic programs and make lives easier for the AD.
Yeah, again, I was sharing this with another athletic director just recently that ADs, for people who are not ADs, and whether that's a vendor or someone, I think getting to know an AD sometimes it can be challenging, but once you do get to know, and once they know you, I don't think you're going to find anybody that's more loyal to a product or a person than an athletic director. Um, Chip, as you look at your program right now, kind of that global look in the next year or two, what are some projects that you're looking at that are probably going to involve reaching out to some vendors?
Actually, it's that time of the year where we've just finished winter, so I'm doing a lot of evals for coaches that just came out and that kind of thing. And one of the topics that we've, as a department, been struggling with, and I literally just had a coach walk out. We just finished an eval, and one of the major topics we talked about was that it's no secret that across the nation, participation numbers have dropped. And it's one of those kind of why is that? We don't necessarily have a this is the button to push and fix that. But I think one thing that we've kind of settled on is that some of the old school thoughts of, well, they'll come if they want to, and we need them here, and they need to be here more than we need them here. That kind of thought is not necessarily it's not the way this generation has been raised. It's not what they respond to, and that we need to probably start to look inward more and to look towards that. I don't know, almost as a totally different marketing strategy. And so it's one like talking to them. We've talked about doing things differently with how we do team pictures and individual pictures and how we market those kids as individuals, because that seems to be more what they care about than as a group. So, what are those software packages? What are those people that can do those things for us? Um, how do we increase our fan engagement? Because right now, I think, again, that's no secret. If you look at every AD across the country, they're going to tell you my gates are down. That's just the way it is. You're getting the families and you're getting the close friends, but you're not getting those kind of tertiaries that you used to get. So what can we do to engage those people and give them an experience that they value and they want to spend their money on? Obviously we just talked about helmet tracker. That's something that was interesting to me because like most programs, we struggle with equipment and managing that volume of material, and making sure that we get stuff back and we charge kids who've damaged things and that we aren't just throwing money out every year because we want to replace the things we lost. So those are probably two big ones right now that I'm really looking at. I think, the streaming aspect is another one. A lot of us are trying to tackle that streaming aspect. Like we see the value in it, but how do we find good solutions that produce good content without, all right, now I got to have a full on SID to just handle our video side. You know what I mean? So those are kinds of things that we're looking at just in house that we really feel like we need to probably get better at.
Wow, great observations about your own program. And again, whether it's streaming or you talked about awards and photos and things like that, the marketing aspect. There's a lot of platforms out there that do those sorts of things, a lot of great ones. And there's a lot of ADs probably listening that maybe have either on their own or in true AD fashion, borrowing a great idea from another AD that could probably reach out to you. Let's go and do that right now. Chip, if one of our listeners wanted to reach out and not just share with you, but maybe pick your brain and see how you're doing things, what's the best way that ADs can get a hold of Chip Dale?
Yeah, easiest way is email, like most of us. We're on email 24/7. So my email is DALEC at Delphi, DELPHI K12.in.us.
And we'll probably give that again at the end of the podcast. Alec, I'm coming back to you real quick, but to finish that thought, again, there's a ton of great platforms out there. And when you get that call as an AD, Chip, I say this just about every episode, but I'm going to say it again. When you get that cold call, that salesperson, they're trying to sell their product. That's what they do, and it might be the greatest product in the world, but if you don't know anything about it, you're going to be a little bit hesitant. On the other hand, somebody from your network says, "Hey, Chip, have you ever tried this product? It's great." The product hasn't changed at all, but all of a sudden you've got that endorsement from somebody from the AD Brotherhood. And that's from the vendor standpoint. Any vendors that are listening, that's why you want to be involved in the think tank as a vendor. Did I overstate that at all, Chip, the importance of that?
No, I think that's 100% true. I think like just with Alec would probably echo, like, I've referred a couple people here recently where again it's that network that I've referred them into the think tank, and they wouldn't have even answered the email had I not said, "Hey, I think this is something that has value that it's going to cost you nothing up front, but it's going to give back, and it's something that you can put in or take out as much as you want." Vendors is the same way. Like I know I have several vendors that I've picked up in the last year that if I did not have someone in my close network of peers, that if they wouldn't have said, "Oh yeah, no, this is definitely worth the $500 or the $1,000 or whatever it is the price point is, no, this is worth it. It makes your life easier." Then yeah, I would have not done it either, just because as a small school, budget it's tight.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, sorry,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna hop in, Jake. Sorry, but I was just gonna echo what Chip said. The think tank has been built on referrals completely. I was in Illinois, AD. Abby, our founder, worked a lot with ADs in Illinois. We started there, and we just grew through trust, believing in what we were doing, and referrals from ADs that wanted to get others involved. And that's really a testament to how this thing has worked and how ADs have enjoyed the experience. And that's how we're going to keep it going.
Now, talking about the vendors, I know you've got a special project going on this month, the month of April. Can you share that with ADs and vendors alike who are listening?
Yeah, for sure. So, up until this point, we've really just done consulting projects with vendors and think tank members, but we're going to kind of open things up on a bigger scale in April, and we're going to launch a vendor membership directory. So we're really excited about that. It's just a larger way for vendors to connect with ADs in the think tank and beyond the think tank. And for ADs, it's going to be a great place to go to search for what type of vendors they should be using when they're looking for new tools. So it's going to be first of its kind. We're really excited about it. We're looking for vendors to hop on and start as members with us early, become pioneer members. We're calling it in the month of April. So if you're interested, please reach out.
Now, I know for the website, it's K12sportstech.com. Is that the best way to get hold of you, or do you have a better email?
Yeah. Feel free to email me, Alec, ALEC, at K12Sportstech.com.
Okay. And you're still taking athletic directors to join the think tank also.
Absolutely. We're always looking for more ADs that want to be a part of this. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
Chip, I know we just gave out that email, but let's go and do it again in case somebody didn't have a pen. What's the best way that somebody can reach out and connect with you?
Yep, that's Dale C, DALEC at Delphi, DELPHI.K12.in.us.
And that's Chip Dale, the Director of Athletics at Delphi Community High School, and that's in the great state of Indiana. Gentlemen, thanks again for sharing. All the best as we continue to move through spring sports and eventually wrap up the 2024-25 school year. And hopefully you'll have some continued great experiences with the think tank and all your vendors.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jake.
For our listeners, we want to say thanks to you and remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of every interview to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this segment just about every week, and just about every day we try to share stories and best practices from the world of education-based athletics. So hopefully you'll join us again on the next K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Real quick before we go again, we want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, K12 Sports Tech, Sideline Interactive, Ohio University, Hometown. I want to say thanks to Gipper. I want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame, Home Campus, Snap Rays, Huddle, and Athletic Surveys. Please visit these sponsors, not just because they're sponsors, but because they are great companies. You're going to be very glad you did. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on the podcast.